What's up, YouTube? CFX here back with another video. And in this video, we're going to go over our weekly trades that we took over the last week. And we also are going to look at possible setups for this week market. So first, we're going to start off with, I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with gold. I'm going to just work my way down, actually. So in this video, I'm going to go over my wins and my losses. I didn't take many losses this week. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 compared to the wins that we took. But this gold trade, this one right here, we ended up looking for the sell opportunity, got it up here, then it rejected down and actually broke this support right here. So as you guys know, for most of my trades, I like to look for an impulsive break through a structure if I'm looking to take that trade. So as I said, we have support right here, and we got the impulsive break in order to break that support and possibly sell down. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is the next level of structure that was right there near it. So here we got a strong sell-off of the market over here, right? So this right here will actually be my demand zone. This would have been my demand zone right here. So what ended up happening was it sold down from here for the gold sale, which we did catch, and then ended up coming back down to this demand zone and bought back up. So although it did break this support right here, this demand zone was a stronger level of structure, and it rejected off of it and bought back up into this zone. So that was my mistake on that one, for not recognizing this level of structure right here and taking that loss. Would have been a good trade for a buy though. Would have been a great trade for a buy. But I hope you guys see how this was, or how this is my demand zone now, because it was a supply zone at one point in time. And just like your support and resistance, your demand zone can become your supply zone, and your supply zone can become your demand zone as structure progresses forward. So here we saw our supply zone become our demand zone. And if you guys do not know, your supply zone is basically like a zone set for sellers or bears in the market, and your demand zone is set for buyers and bulls in the market. To sum it all up, that's basically who runs those markets. If you guys want to understand more on supply and demand, I believe I do have a video on that on my YouTube channel. It's either in my market structure talk, or I have created a separate video on it. I can't remember exactly, but I really go in depth on it on my course, which will be in the bio if you guys are interested in that. But it basically broke a level of structure and entered into a stronger one, and that's what caused the rejection and the buy back up. Now this would have been a great buy, because if you guys can see here, we got the impulsive sell-off, right? Came right into the zone, but right as it entered the zone, it started to consolidate. Let me delete this. Yeah. So as it entered the zone, it started to consolidate, and then we got the break back out, and we got the retest in this candle right here. So it broke out, and then we got the retest in this order block, right? And it ended up buying back up. So that would have been a great trade for a buy if I would have been looking for a buy. But in that moment, I was really just looking for a sell. So now on to Euro NZD. We got a lot of wins, a lot of big wins off of Euro NZD this week, or this past week. And to sum up this trade setup, very, very simple trade setup. We got the retest of our, not the retest, we do got a retest right here, but we got the test of our reversal point right here, which is 1.8. And then this was marked up a while ago. So this was marked up on the 13th of December, and it took all the way until the 20th in order for it to come back up to this point. So we got the initial sell-off, right? You guys know we caught that last week, or the week before last week, and then it came back up here and finally came to our reversal. Now, if you guys will see here, we nearly got a double top. Nearly got a double top. It didn't come up as high, but it came to the same area. So once I saw this rejection twice out of this zone, I did take the trade set up initially right here, because if you guys pay attention to the candles, we got two engulfing candles coming right back out of the zone, which is what I look for when trading or looking to take a trade, and then ended up coming back into the zone a little bit, but it was still great confirmation to hold this trade. It was just a little bit of pullback. So why was this still great confirmation? Because if you guys look at these two wicks right here, we got wick exhaustion right in our supply zone. So that was a confirmation to me that this market is still respecting this zone in this area of structure, and it's going to sell down at some point. So, and that's what happened. Ended up selling all the way down for, what's that, 100 pips? I want to say it was from the moment I entered that trade. Yep, it was 100 pips. So ended up catching 100 pips in this trade, and then I could have held it longer. Like, I could have held this position throughout the week, but what I ended up doing was I ended up just taking multiple positions throughout the week in this trade. So you guys see it continued to sell off until it got to this zone right here. And if you guys were paying attention, I have been looking for this setup for a while, for it to break through this right here. And that is what we got. I left this note here a while ago. I said if it break below this trend, that will confirm the sale. And what ended up happening, guys, it broke the trend and it ended up selling all the way down here. So here, it initially broke it right here, right? But then it ended up pulling back into this zone right here, which is a level of structure. But if you guys pay closer attention, what do we have here? We have an order block. So the market was selling down, and then right in the middle of the sell-off, we ended up getting this candle right here, and it created that order block for the market to pull back to right here, and then it sold back off. So I did not enter right here because for one, I was looking for the retest. So once it had broke, I was looking for the market to actually come like this. Find it. So once the had broke, I was looking for the market to actually come back and retest at this point and then sell down. But once I had saw that it kept on moving above it, I waited. So then when it broke back below, I had got another alert that it broke back below again. And this time I was looking for it to break this support. So it had already broke the trend, but now I was looking for it to break this support that it created over here. Let me do this. And if you guys see, I did have an alert set for this support. So I saw that it created this support right here, candle rejection right here, and then it came back down to that point again and then bought back up. So it refused to break below this point. I saw that. So a note that I left for myself was when it comes back down here, see how the market reacts. And you guys see again that it rejected on this candlestick and then kind of stayed around it a little bit. Then it finally broke through. So this candle right here, when it closed below my support, I had entered the trade at that point and took the sale. So we took the sale. Now I ended up closing like somewhere around here. Let me mark it. I ended up closing somewhere around here because I did see that the market was starting to pull back. Like once it breaks something like this, I did not expect I do not expect to see a pullback this soon. So once I saw that it was pulling back, I felt like it was just going to come back and retest this area again, more than likely. And I was going to see if it was going to go back above this area or if it was going to fall back below. And that's what ended up happening. It ended up actually falling back. I cannot talk. It actually ended up falling back below that support that we marked up right here that was when I re-entered for their opportunity again. So once I saw that it did not break above here, which was my resistance now, once I saw that it did not break back above here, then I ended up re-entering that trade for the sale. So those were my setups for Euro NZD. All of them were wins, and just a great week on Euro NZD. Now GBP Jpy was also a great week. So we took the initial buy setup. So let me show you guys here. All right. So GBP Jpy. Here in GBP Jpy, let me delete some of this stuff. So. All right, so here on GBP Jpy, my fib played a major part in this trade, to be honest. So you guys know a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, we got the sell-off for DJ. And then I saw that it came back down into this zone and ended up rejecting out of it again and buying back up. So what I did was paid attention to how the market was moving. Now we got very small movements, but if you guys pay closer attention, it's in an uptrend, right? So this was why I entered the trade. I saw we got the initial buy, and then we got the rejection right here. So it created a higher low, and it continued to buy up. And again, this is where I ended up marking my trend. I marked my trend right here. So at first, it was just this point to this point, and then I extended it. And when the market was showing very little movement right here, this is where I ended up entering the trade. And to be honest, trades like this, like entries like this, I wasn't able to recognize these type of trades until I got better at trading. Like, this is not something that you're going to be really noticing right off the bat. Like, the initial point that you would like to take this trade was down here around this area. I probably would have took it right here and then had very little drawback, but or drawdown. But overall, we still would have won that trade. Once I had saw that the market rejected out of this zone and bought back up, this is where I initially wanted to enter, but I missed that entry. And then once the market came back to this area right here and then consolidated around this area, that was when I decided to take the buy for DJ. So that was that trade. And then the market continued to buy up. And the reason I set my TP up to here was because, let me backtrack a little bit. But the reason I set my TP to here is if you guys look to the left, we do have a resistance right here that was like the week before. And if you guys pay attention to the trend line as well, if I was to extend this out, it actually will come back and retest this trend as well. So this is why I pulled out right here in this area. And what I was looking to see, I was going to see if the market was going to reject off this trend line and sell back down, or if it was going to break through. So the market ended up breaking through. And here, it actually came back above what was a demand zone or a minor level of structural support. So it ended up coming back above it. And if you guys pay attention to the wicks as well over here, what do you guys see? Like, it just kept on rejecting out of this area. So once we got the engulfing candles, that was when I decided to take that trade. Now I did hop in a little bit, earlier than before I got the engulfing candles, because I just really felt like it was going to buy up. But still a great trade overall. Winning it. So wasn't a bad trade, but I got this zone from looking at this area over here. So looking at this area of the market, you guys will always hear me say a lot, look to your left. The reason I say that is because the market repeats itself. The market repeats itself, and it will always respect a past level of structure. It will always respect it. So once it came back above here, then I basically was just reading the market as if it never broke this level of structure anyway. So once it got back above it, I was just reading the market as if they were just side to side like this. Like this, just say the market was consolidating. Boom, boom, boom. I ignored the complete bottom right here. I ignored the bottom. I was looking at how the market was reacting above this level. Now, let's say it would have broke back below here, then yes, I will go back to paying attention to the bottom level and seeing how the market would react. If it was to break below, then I would look for a setup, more than likely something like this. Look for it to sell down, come back and retest, and continue. But I'm not going to look for that unless it breaks this support level right here. So once it ended up coming back above it, I saw that the market was moving very small, very short, but it did not break back below here. And that was when I entered for the buy. And ended up taking that trade. Now, I was looking to take the buy all the way up to this zone. Why? Because as you guys see here, this is where we got the initial sell-off that caused the market to drop all the way down here. So I was looking for the market to come back and retest this zone and sell back down again, which it did sell. I mean, it retested and then consolidated a little bit, right? It consolidated a little bit and then it ended up coming out of the zone. But if you guys pay close attention and actually look at these candles, it didn't come out of the zone impulsively. And that was where I messed up at. It didn't come out the zone with force, as if the market really wanted to sell down. No, it barely crept out of the zone and then it ended up breaking through and bought back up. But I had a very tight stop loss, 75, and I didn't lose much from that. So still was able to profit off of Gbp Jpy from these two wins. And that's why it's very important to trade at a 2-to-1 ratio, because in order for me to lose profit on any type of trade, I would either have to lose like maybe 3 trades in a row, or 3 to 4 trades in a row, in order for me to actually lose out on profit. So 1 win will make up 3 losses. That's why it's very important to understand risk to reward ratio when you are trading. And that's why I always set my TP and my stop losses at those levels. So on to Euro USD. I believe this was the only trade that I took on Euro USD this week, but let's look at it. So in this situation, the market came up to my negative 61.8 area. And now, if you guys do not know, that is my reversal point, but it also came up to a supply zone. So the market ended up entering this zone twice before and sold down, maybe more than that. As you guys see, definitely more than that. So this is where I initially marked up my supply zone, right? Started over here. We got the candle rejection. We're going to start all the way from the left and work our way over. So here we got the wick rejection, right? Or wick exhaustion in other terms. So we got the wick exhaustion right here from this candle, like very, 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 very significant, right? Also, we got it coming back up to this level, and again, bearish engulfing candle. Comes back up to this level again, get wick exhaustion that caused the initial sell-off or caused the final sell-off. So it retested this zone 3 times over here before it sold off all the way down to here. So that tells me that is an important level of structure. I need to pay attention to this area, right? So it comes back up here again over here on December 8th. It ends up selling off all the way back down to that level again. All right, so you guys know how I am when it comes to like my 3rd or 4th retest. I'm not very, very confident on it, right? I don't really like it a lot, but that does not mean that a trade opportunity is not there. When I say that, that means I'm just paying closer attention to how the market reacts to this area now, because it could break through on this retouch. But that's my job to pay attention and read the market, read the candle, and understand market structure. So once it finally comes over and retests again, I analyzed my candles, and we ended up taking the trade and ended up winning. So that was why I ended up taking Euro USD. I started to reject it out of this zone again. And once it started rejecting, that was when I took that trade. I even could have took it again right here. So that was my reasoning for taking Euro USD. You guys saw that we won that one. That was the only trade that we took on Euro USD. GU, we only took 1 trade on it this week, or I did. Couple of my students took this trade for the buy. I really don't like considering them my students. Like, I'm just calling everybody my business partners. But a couple of my business partners took the buy that I sent out. I was looking for it to come back down a little bit more, but ended up buying up way before, or yeah, I projected it to. So a lot of them profited off of that this week. I was looking for the sell once it came back to this structure, but as you guys see, it did not. The reason I was looking for the sell was because, again, about the same as Euro USD, actually exact same setup as Euro USD. The difference is it did not sell down with GU like it did with Euro USD. GU got some very big news that night, as you guys see. This is at 23 or right at 12 o'clock. That is when the news drops for G or GBP pairs. So if you're on Central Standard Time, Great British Pound News always drops at midnight, about midnight to 1 o'clock, and you need to be paying attention to the market at that point, because that's usually when GBP pairs make their moves. That's the beginning of London session, I do believe, and then or it's getting to London session, and that's when the GBP pairs mainly make their moves. Euro pairs make their moves too, as well, around this time, or they start to make their moves. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they happen later on in London session, but very important note. My mistake was not taking into consideration the news that may come out. So that was my mistake on that one, on GU, but we did end up losing that trade. UJ, we only took 1 trade on that as well, and that one was also a loss. I took this trade because ended up coming to a level of structure again. That dates all the way back to here, but Yeah, bad trade, honestly. Just a bad trade. So this one, honestly, was a bad trade, but we're getting a setup for a better opportunity. So
Where'd you say you had took it at?
for what, UJ?
Yeah, where you say you had took a loss. Like
I entered at 114.031 and ended up hitting my stop loss. That was where I entered for the sale on UJ.
okay.
Yeah, that was just a bad trade on my part. I thought that it was going to sail down because it came up to this resistance right here. And honestly, let me get rid of this. It came up to this level, and I was reading this as my supply zone. So once it came up here and we got the sell-off and it actually sold out of my zone, that was when I ended up taking the trade. So as soon as I took it, that was
fire.
Yeah. As soon as I took it, that was when it ended up reversing and ended up hitting my stop loss. But that was how that trade turned out. Way to prevent a loss like this is looking at it at this level. See, we got a minor support right here. We got the break, but the candle right afterwards ended up buying back up above it. And then as you guys see, it broke back above it. Then we got the retest, and that's what started the fire. So
that was one of the ones you just you took and you kind of like left alone and let it do its thing, huh?
Like, yeah. This I took this trade at about 5 o'clock. No, 3 o'clock my time. So yeah, I was at work, and once I had got the because I had an alert here at first, I deleted it, but I believe I had it like right here or something. But once I had got the alert that it broke back below, that was when I took that sale and I just let it rock. But it ended up coming back and smacking my stop loss. So yeah, just pay closer attention to your candles. See if it's going to go right back above it or go right back above your level of structure if you're looking for a sale and it breaks below. Pay attention to the candle right afterwards and see if it's going to break back above or if it's going to continue to sell off. If it breaks back above, then you want to be careful and you want to maybe see if it's going to continue to buy back up. If it does, then that's your confirmation like it was a fake out. The market is going to actually buy instead of sell.
Right.
So just just watching for the fake outs or there's a way to prevent that type of loss. On to USD CAD though. You guys know we took the sale right here. It broke above. Well, let me backtrack a little bit because USD CAD was very, very, very ignorant this week. Like, oh my God, it took forever for this trade to take place. So we were looking for the sale in this zone, right? We were actually looking for the sale all the way back here. 19th was Sunday. We've been looking at this trade since Sunday. The move did not take place until Tuesday. And that was when they finally sold off. But ended up coming into the zone. And then I was looking for the sale initially right here, right? You guys see my markup. We wanted the sale to happen right here. And it looked like it was for a second, but then it ended up rejecting off of this trend again. rejected off of this trend and actually going back up above our supply zone. And again, what is it? What we just talked about? A fake out. It was a fake out. So it broke out of the supply zone, but the candle right afterwards ended up selling back down into the supply zone. So that was my confirmation that the sale was still valid. Let's just be more patient. And I had been in this trade for I think a couple of days. Actually, I want to say I entered like over here on the 20th because I was holding this trade for a while. Just kept going in and out of profit. But once it came back into the supply zone, it never did close back above it. So that's another confirmation. Okay, like this market is really getting ready to sell down. It's just consolidating right now. It's just taking a while. So market finally ended up making this move and sold all the way down to this level of structure, actually just a little bit lower. So that was the trade set up for USD CAD. This one right here was just a minor trade. We got minor level of structure right here. We got the little trend or downtrend. It came up. I saw that it was rejecting. I just took a little small trade from here to here, but still a 2-to-1 ratio. So it was a good trade. It was just, you know, a quick little trade, honestly. That was that setup. But to sum it all up, basically, I'm really trading off the trend, right? Trading off the test of the trend. So that was my setup for USD CAD. You guys know. Oh, I guess I go ahead and get into setup for this week. So you guys know that we're looking for the market to either break above. And honestly, I may get ready to take the sell because as it continues on, the gap is getting wider and wider. So that's more opportunity. But we're not 100% sure that it may stay all the way down here. It could come about halfway right here and form, let me draw it out for y'all. So it could come right here. Boom. And right at this support, it could end up buying up and breaking through. Right here at this support. So we're going to see if this candle breaks below or if it rejects and buy up. If it breaks below, then I may take the sale down to here. Then get out at the test of this trend and see if it's going to break here. But we will see. We will see how USD CAD reacts. UJ. It already came back up to my reversal point. USD Jpy, if it breaks below this support, it's more than likely going to sell back down. Only thing is that it's also retesting a level of resistance that has now become a support. So this could end up becoming a demand zone and buying up. I mean, a support zone and buying up. Mainly because we got a break. We got a break right here. And then it could be consolidating right now. And then buy all the way up. But you guys know our major level of structure is actually our major level of structure is here. So we're looking to see how the market reacts at this point. Also, we have an order block over to our left. So it could come all the way up to here and then sell off. How is my field mark? Let me see. So yeah, we'll see how the market reacts at this point. If it breaks below the support, you guys know we're going to look for the sell. And this could be a strong sell-off. Could come down, fill in this area. So it could come back and fill this in and retest at this resistance and may treat it as support. But we will see. That's for USD JPY. Look at the DXY real quick. GU, pretty much same as USD JPY. I'm looking to see, but this time, I'm going to move this down. Looking for it to break this support. And then GU actually did the second scenario. Here, we're looking for a break, either out of here or out above here. So if it ends up breaking above, it's going to buy up. If it ends up breaking below, it's going to sell down. So right now it's in the zone, and we're looking for it to break out of that zone and let us know which direction it wants to go in. EU is also in the middle of a zone, nearly. Got the support right here. I'll put my resistance right here. The only thing about this resistance is also at a reverse point. So EU is more than likely going to sell down, even to, I'm looking for it to sell down to here, honestly. This is where I'm looking to take EU for the sell. So yeah, that's my setup for EU. We got the break back below this point and retesting now, where it has already retested. So as I was telling you guys before, this was a support. It broke below, We got the rejection right here, so that lets you know, okay, it was double. But we got the break back above. Again, treated as a support right here. Bought up and then broke back below. Now we're getting wick exhaustion around the same resistance that was support. Now we're going to see if we can get in strong rejection out of this zone, and hopefully that would trigger our sell and it don't continue to consolidate like it has been doing. So we will see. Let's see if anything else is going on in this market. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. For EU. Really want to look for the sell. GJ. GJ is in a very weird place right now. But so far, it looks to be retesting what is a support. What was a supply mean? Supply zone. What was a demand zone but has become a supply zone. Yep, getting it. That stuff. But if you guys look over here, this was a level of support structure right here. All right. So now over here, what I feel like is happening is it's treating it as a resistance structure right here. So we're going to see if we can get any strong bearish candles. And once we get a strong bearish candle, that would trigger a sell for GJ. And vice versa. Say this market says, hey, I want to buy. Well, then we're just going to look for the buy. We're going to look for the break, retest, and then a continuation. It could be a one candle retest and buy back up to either this high right here, or it could continue all the way back up. Ooh, perfect trade over here. This is a perfect trade. Came back and filled in this, retested this support, became resistance. So, but could be getting the same thing right here for the continuation of a major sale. We will see. We will see. That's my setup for GJ. EN right now is also kind of in a weird place. If it breaks below this support right here, break below here, we're definitely going to take that sell all the way down to here or here. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for EN. If it breaks below here, we're going to take this all the way down to about, I would say about this area. All right. If it rejects, then we're going to swing this back up to this high. If it breaks back above here. So for the buy, we're looking for a rejection here and a break back above this level. For the sell, we're looking for the break and then the sell off. It also could come back and retest, so definitely keep that in mind for EN. Gold. definitely looking for the sale on gold. Definitely for the sale on gold. Sorry for that, yawn. But I'm looking for.
No, you ain't tired.
You're right. I'm tripping. But yeah. Either it's going to test this high again and reject and sell off, or it's going to finally break above it and continue to buy all the way up. Buy all the way up. It could come back and fill in this area right here. So if it breaks above it, look for a buy, maybe a retest, and it comes back and fill in this long candle that we got over here. Because it hasn't come back and filled this in yet. So that's what we're gonna look for with gold for this week. We do have divergence going on the 1 hour. Yeah.
So for gold, you expecting to sell down, but not 100% sure yet.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna trade what I see, not what I want to happen.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the candles. Yeah.
Now I was just also in the middle of a major zone. We have minor zones in between, but the major zone is here, all the way up to this high right here. That's the major zone. So let me get rid of these. I'm trading minor structure. So Nas in the morning, it's either going to sell off, which we do have a little bit of hidden divergence going on. Look down here. All right. According to my TDI, market should be something like this. Right. But the market is not up here. The market is actually below this high, but it's so much going on. So we look for the sale in the morning for Nas. And just because we have divergence does not mean it's about to immediately sell off. No. It could end up going up a little bit higher and then sell off. Or it may not sell off at all, you know? Could continue to buy up. But don't forget the news that we got earlier this year or earlier this month. I mean, about what they plan on doing next year to inflation and stuff like that. So we will see. So yeah, those are my trade setups for this week. Look at Forex Factory, see if any meetings are going on. All right, so it seemed like a chill week. We got unemployment claims on Thursday for US dollar. GBP and Canadian dollar have a bank holiday. So I may not really take a trade until maybe Wednesday because of the bank holidays. You can trade on the bank holidays. Well, yeah, you can trade on the bank holidays. But just be careful. Pay attention to your market. But yeah, those are going to be my trade setups for this week. You guys have any questions or anything about any trades that we took last week or anything like that? You guys are.
No, I know what I did last week. The good and the bad.
All right.
I did 2 markets, but they matching so far. So I guess I'm in the right space.
Let's go.
Okay. Good. Well, all right. That's going to be at the end of this call. And if any trade setups change, you guys know I will definitely update you guys in the Telegram group chats. And give you guys a heads up on if I plan on taking anything or when I enter anything. But I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. If I do not see you guys the rest of this week, if I do, I will let you guys know about that meeting as well. But thank you guys for hopping on, and hope you guys have a